Hey guys, it's Adrian here from ACanatomy.com. I'm back again with this anatomy study tutorial. Where we left previously was I put together this kind of series where we done like an anatomy in motion. So it was a very exciting walkthrough that we went through. So it was like a full anatomy class that I put together. So I kind of decided let's just continue with this. Like let's try to do like the entire human body, like finding those dynamic images, those dynamic poses, so we can like study each muscles in motion. So what I have on screen, it's this is one of our anatomy figures that we have on our store. So I have like very exciting news today for you guys. This is a female figure actually, and we're giving away 5 of them. The trick is to those top 5 students. So basically, you guys I'm gonna like receive an assignment after this tutorial. So you guys are gonna send your artwork or pieces. Just pick like any dynamic image and then sketch it or sculpt it. It doesn't matter. But then we want to see like your understanding of the anatomy, like going through our classes. Which do you understand? So don't pick like the part that we didn't go through, like specifically the arms. You can take it if you trust yourself in that, the arms and the facial thingy, because we haven't done it yet. But then if you're pretty much confident with your anatomy knowledge, then you can kind of choose that. But then what I truly like advise you guys, if you like beginning and stuff, just go through our previous tutorials, because we've covered the torso, the posterior and the anterior compartment of the torso. So we went through all of that. It's just you going through that and then studying a lot, just drawing or sculpting, whichever works for you. So all your artworks should be sent to me at Adrian at saanatomy.com. The link will be in the description. So it's Adrian at saanatomy.com. So you should send both your screenshots and your reference. I just want to see the understanding of your anatomy and how have these classes helped you. So it's just basically seeing your artwork, and then from those artwork we choose. We're gonna pick like top 5 students, and then they're gonna receive this anatomy figure for free. So that's just that. So let's jump into Photoshop and then let's start with our class. So what we have today, I have this image again from Bodies in Motion, Scott Eaton Bodies in Motion. This is not too dynamic, but then as you can see, we went through the torso, so I'm hardly gonna go through like everything here. I'll probably fly through it, but then we're still gonna sculpt this. So basically what we're gonna do today, it's the same principle. We're gonna do a bit of dissection in Photoshop, go through the muscles, and then we're gonna move through to ZBrush and what's exciting and different about this class today is we're not gonna be sculpting in ZBrushCore or in ZBrush, but we're gonna be using the basic ZBrushCore Mini. That's that's like the free version of ZBrush from the Pixelogic team, and it has like limited features and it's free. So this is going to be easy for anyone to follow along. If you don't have ZBrushCore Mini yet, you can just log into Pixelogic and just download that copy for yourself, and it's absolutely free. It's kind of like Blender. It's going to be easy for anyone to just follow along with us over here while we dissect this. So part one, let's just start with this before we open up ZBrush. So I'm going to start with the gluteal region. These are one of our male enemy figures. I'm going to start with the gluteal region. I'm wondering if I could, let me just start with the skeleton, and then probably you guys will have like a basic understanding of what we trying to achieve over here. So I'm just gonna quickly go to our skeletal systems. I'm just gonna open up a skeleton very quickly, and just gonna hide this. Probably like grab. Let me just grab a dark background. Okay, we have that, and then I'm just gonna create a new layer. This is not a Photoshop tutorial. I'm just testing that. Just gonna zoom out. Something wrong with my graphics card. I just don't want to restart the computer just now. So I'm just gonna grab my brush tool, and then we'll start dissecting it. Firstly, like let me just change this color, probably to red or something. So we're gonna be doing like the gluteal region. We went through the thoracic cage and scapula and the clavicles, I believe, and the humerus and stuff. And there's gonna be like a tutorial coming out with the upper arm, so like a complete tutorial. So don't worry about that. If you watching this in the future, just go watch the upper arm tutorial. I'll probably like put like cards at the end of this class, so hopefully you guys watched until the end of this class. So next we just go, so we have our pelvis, remember, on our previous class, and our previous synthesis. I wish they had symmetry in Photoshop. So we have our pelvis over here, and we have one of our largest bones. Actually, this is the largest bone. So we have our femur articulating with the pelvis over here, and you can see these protuberance over here. So we have our lesser trochanter, and then you've guessed it, we have our greater trochanter. So these will be attachment for many muscles in the lower limb. Trochanter, spelling might be incorrect. This is a very, very large bone. It's very heavy as it supports us to stand. So, and we have this cartilage over here of the femur and the condyles, medial condyles of the femur, I believe. Now, what the femur actually articulates with the tibia. There's our tibia bone over here. I'm just gonna do like a rough sketch, as this is gonna be underneath and we won't hardly see anything. And I'm not gonna go through individual muscles over here. and we go here, we have a foot. We'll probably like dedicate like a specific class with just the foot, because there's a lot of bones, and but it's basically understanding the joints that happens over here with the tibia and the foot. So like if you dorsiflex your foot or plantar flex, you can you can just understand. Let's say this is a femur and this is a foot, so this is a neutral position. So the only movement that you can get is pretty dorsiflex or plantar flex. You just twist it a bit, so, and then also you can also like pick up your foot like so. So you kind of limited to the position, about like 30 degrees or something, but not a lot. So this is just a rough sketch. And then lastly, we have a tiny bone over here, which is a fibula, as you can see, and we have our malleolus, more distally, and we have our patella. Patella, they're normally known as like the kneecap. So this will serve for attachment of many muscles, and there's a famous ligament, the patella ligament, will be attaching from the patella more distally to the tibia tuberosity, this bony protuberance over here. So our gluteal muscles like the vastus, the rectus femoris, the rectus femoris, the vastus medialis, and the vastus lateralis will be attaching on the patella ligament over here. So this is just a rough sketch. Let's see, because these are the bones we need to know. Just a recap from our previous classes. This is our technique. Like we firstly understand, like we firstly go through the skeleton. So like if you open up any dynamic image, what you want to know, like you want to ignore what's happening in the surface, like the skin folds and the muscles at the first stage. So what you want to understand, basically track where is your bones. So like finding the femur, because when you find the femur, because the femur articulates with the tibia and the fibula and the patella actually, so you can kind of understand where's everything lying out. So once you know, like as you can see, there's this bone over here of the foot, so you can kind of see what's happening underneath. So once you track your skeleton, so its first thing is skeleton, if I can spell right. So skeleton, that's the first thing you want to track. And next, number 2, I'm probably boring you guys with this because I repeat it in every class. I just want to install this to you guys' head. Like it's such a cool technique that you guys must know. So the second step is to know the origins and insertions. Origin. Pen is a bit lagging. So it's origins and insertions. So basically where the muscles originate and where they insert. So where they come from and then where they go. So origins and insertions, got that wrong. Origins and insertions, and number 3 again, the part we all hate, is practice. So by practice we mean like open up any software or just grab a pen and a paper, just and grabbing any dynamic image. You can probably go to Scott Eaton's Bodies in Motion website. Just create an account. Probably they offer images, but then you can actually pay for like a pretty cheap subscription, and just go in there and then and just grab a few pictures. We actually using one of these pictures from there, so you can grab like even from the internet. Just find any dynamic images that are crazy to like even understand like in a minute. You kind of like need a couple of minutes to finally like see which muscles are where. So those are our 3 steps over here. I have like 15 minutes or so before we open up the ZBrush, and then we start sculpting. So yeah, if you're using clay, or if you're using a pen and a paper, or if you're using Photoshop or any sketching software or any sculpting medium, this will work. Just go through your reference, just go through your anatomy study and study the skeleton, the bones, and the origin insertions, and practice a lot. This will reward you. So moving away from the skeleton now, I believe we're done with that. There's not much. Let's see. There's not much actually, but just knowing that the origin insertion, like for example, the gluteum, most of the gluteal muscles will be attaching at the greater trochanter. So these are the muscles we're going to be covering, like the gluteus medius, gluteus maximus. So the gluteus minimus we won't be covering because it's underneath the gluteus medius. So these are muscles that attach over here, and we have our iliotibial band where the tensor fascia lata will be attaching in. And just remembering this process of the also. Remember we went through it in our previous class. So if you kind of lost, we created like a playlist, anatomy in motion. So you can just go to part 2 when we went through. I'll probably like share the link in the description or the card, so you can just revert that if you kind of lost with this region. So basically I'm just gonna rush through it. It's as this, so that's how to remember it. But then it's the anterior superior iliac spine, where and then the anterior inferior iliac spine, so it's more inferior to that first part. So then these are going to be attachment also of the, for example, the sartorius and the tensor fascia lata. So next, I'm just going to close this. Where was I? Just going to hide this, and then I'm going to open this and then create a new layer in Photoshop. So here we have our muscles now. Remember we went through the, let me just stop with the posterior first. Zoom in over here. I think we have our veins, but I doubt they're going to be disturbing that much. So first things, we have our, so I'm just going to cover these as a whole, because like on the skin it's just normally one group. So these will be our adductor muscles, adductor. Basically you know what they do by their name. So basically I adduct the leg, the lower limb. As you can see, we have our, remember the bone we went through, the anterior superior iliac spine. So we can just say our as this is where our sartorius and the tensor fascia lata will be attaching, and the rectus femoris will be attaching at the anterior inferior iliac spine, and yeah, and then the next muscle we have, I just went through that, but then let's go through it. Small thin muscle. That's a sartorius muscle, basically wrapping around the leg and separating the adductor muscles. So we have a sartorius inserting over here at the medial of the tibia bone. So it kind of curves, and then you'll see it over here. And if you're like having trouble like understanding 2D, we have like 3D viewers on our shop, on our website. I mean, it's so you can just log in over there and you can find like the 3D views. We have a free one of our female anatomy figure. So there's a free options. You can just register and then just open that 3D viewer, and then you'll see that in 3D, which is something I advise. So after that we have a sartorius. Let me move quickly. We have like 10 minutes before we start sculpting. And then so we basically doing the superficial muscles for now, because like if we look at our reference, the deep muscles aren't showing in the skin, so there's no need for us to stress ourselves with that. But then if we get like images, because there is another class that will be coming up. It's a very dynamic leg. It's most of the muscles are popping out there, and there will be a fun exercise to tackle. So, and then what we have next, it's known as the teardrop shaped muscle. It's vastus medialis. Medialis because it's towards the middle part of the body. So if it's towards the center, those muscles normally carry like the medialis or medial. So that's how to remember. Like lateral is away from the body, so it's vice versa. So vastus medialis, also attaching at the patellar ligaments. Remember we went through that. Vastus medialis, and originates from the femur. If I grab like another color over here, probably like a blue, and then this is our femur, retrocanter, and then I'm just going to do a rough sketch of the femur. Here's our femur over here. Lesser trochanter. So it's not straight, it's kind of slanting to the other side, unless you stretching your legs, I don't know in what angle. But that's your femur right there. So we have our vastus medialis, and let me hide this femur. I think it's going to disturb. So next we have probably grab another color. I think that's next we have our rectus femoris, one of my base muscles over here. So as I said, it originates from the anterior inferior iliac spine, and then attaches at the patella bone, the kneecap, and then last anterior we have our vastus lateralis, like what I just said previously. So it's lateral, so that's how to remember those muscles. It also attaches at the patella and originates from the femur. And then we have let's grab a green. We have a patellar ligament. Let's write this. patella, and our vastus, laterus, and then we have whatever right over here, our rectus femoris. I'm just writing those names for you guys. If some of you are concerned, femoris, and this will be, you just add medialis, so it's vastus medialis. Probably spelling is not correct, but then kind of have an understanding of what's happening over there. So let's go to our reference. As you can see, we want to know which muscles are here, because these ones are kind of they're kind of like in a single shape. So let's study these. So I'm just gonna go to these two muscles. Sorry, I'm gonna grab another color. Probably let's grab this color over here, and then remember that ligament I told you guys about, the patellar ligament. So inserting at the tibia bone. So that's that over there. Let me just write it over here. So basically the patellar ligament. So ligaments basically connect bone to bone. That's how to remember regular ligaments. If you're kind of confused what's ligaments and stuff. And over here we have our lower leg muscle. I'm just gonna go through that. One of my favorite muscles. We have a gastrocnemius. This is gonna be very important to know, as you can see it over here also, like causing the silhouette. Can't ignore that. No ways. So gastrocnemius. Lower leg muscle, and we have underneath that we have our soleus. Just gonna grab a red. Those are the muscles you need to remember. So we're gonna go posteriorly just to check these are the muscles at the back. We're gonna see there's these over here. So soleus, and then we have our tibialis anterior, so more lateral. Tibialis anterior, and then this is our tibia bone actually. So tibialis. Tibialis anterior, because it's the front, so posterior is at the back, and those are the muscles you need to worry about now. And we have our peroneus longus. It's not that visible, but it's more lateral. So even like the gastrocnemius, it's also like a bit lateral, but you need to know also your pernodis longus muscle. Okay, sweet. Let's go to the back, and then let's see this arm more posteriorly. So here's our gluteal muscles. Let's just open a new layer, create a new layer, and then grab a brush, and then here's our pelvis, our coccyx. Just drawing that rough sketch. I'm flying through this now. And here's our gluteus medius. As you can see, here's our the greater trochanter I told you about, where it inserts, and if you can see the separation over here, there's our gluteus maximus because it's the largest from the rest. So underneath the medius we have the minimus, the smaller one, as the name suggests. So you can see this band over here. I told you guys earlier about it, the iliotibial band. So we can just familiar ourselves with that. So going straight down, and it attaches at the tibia also. So it's the iliotibial band. Iliotibial. It kind of gives you the hint of the insertion, the tibial band. That's how to remember it. The tibial band. I think we forgot something at the front. I see it now. Sorry about that. Just gonna zoom out, and then let's just cover this muscle. The tensor fasciolata also inserts at the iliotibial band, originates from the around the anterior superior iliac spine. So the tensor tells you the performance of the muscle, fascia, lata. It's normally fascia. As the name suggests. Then go back to the posterior compartment. Once we have our iliotibial band, here's our tensor fasciolata. And what's next? We have our the biceps femoris at the back. One of my favorite muscles, actually. No, I'm lying. I don't know. I have too much favorite muscles now. Here's our biceps femoris. Now control. So the biceps femoris, it's more lateral. And what to remember before I forget, you see this muscle over here. Let me just try to emphasize that. Okay, now my pen is not working anymore. My tablet is not working. Look at this muscle that's more lateral. So it's coming from the anterior part of the leg. That's actually, I don't know if you can guess it. That's actually the vastus lateralis, because it's more away from the center of the body. So that's the vastus lateralis. you just need to remember that. So it's basically lying underneath the iliotibial band. So that's how to remember that. And then next to it we have let's see, let me grab another color. Grab another color over here. Oh yeah, I see this already. But then it's the bicep femoris. Let's just draw over it. Biceps femoris. So it has like two heads. There's another head lying underneath, like two parts actually. So there's another head lying underneath over here. You can kind of see the separation. So we said it's a biceps. Femoris. Originating from the pelvis. So I can roll the pelvis like something over here, and then it originates over here. And then next we have like two muscles. I think we went through the adductors momentarily. We have on top, so we have two muscles over here. Let me just change the color for you guys. We grab let's say light blue or yellow, doesn't matter. Semitendinosus and the semimembranosus. So the tendinosus have like a long tendon, and then our semimembranosus. And I don't know if you can see it from here, but you can most see like the gracilis muscle. So it's behind the sartorius, the muscle we went through more anteriorly. So if I can write these, so this is a rough sketch. We're still gonna open up ZBrush and then we'll start sculpting these muscles. We're gonna do like dissections and then dissections. And then we're gonna open up ZBrush and then we'll start sculpting this. So semimembranosus underneath. And then we have our semitendinosus. No sir, don't mind the spelling. Might be incorrect, I don't know. And then more distally, let's just cover these muscles. We have like running short of time. And then remember these muscles we went through, these two muscles, so the gastrocnemius and the soleus. So here's our gastrocnemius, originating from the femur, and then it merges down to this very strong tendon over here, which we're gonna go through just now. So hello gastrocnemius, just gonna emphasize that. And then we have this tendon over here, which is called the Achilles tendon, a very strong tendon. And then inserts at the heel of our leg, back foot. So underneath that we have underneath the gastrocnemius, and also inserting with the Achilles tendon is the soleus. Let me just change it color for you guys. So it's underneath that, and then that's our soleus over here. If you go back over here, this is you can kind of see it underneath the gastrocnemius. So those are the muscles that you guys need to remember, and those are posterior muscles. Posterior muscles and more superficial. Those are the most important muscles when we wanna dissect this. Like if we were doing this, you guys remember our previous study. So it's important not only to study the superficial muscles, because technically you can kind of see the deep muscles coming through, popping out when there's a lot of stretching and squashing, in the skin. For example, you can kind of see the rhomboideus over here, because this muscle is stretching, and then underneath you can kind of see the erector spinalis, because the latissimus dorsi has this tiny sheet of muscle fascia, and those muscles underneath literally pop out, and then you kind of need to know them every time. So this is quite easy, this part, because it's mostly covered in skin. But what we're gonna do first, I'm gonna open up a new layer, and then go to our first step. I'm gonna find let's find the bones, skeleton actually. So pelvis, just gonna draw a rough nothing fancy. Our pelvis, articulating with the pelvis, the connection, it's the femur is our brachial cancer, the femur over here. Curving, just gonna try and emphasize that. So we have a femur, forgive my sketching, it's kind of terrible, just for you guys to have an understanding of what's laying underneath. And then next we have our tibia and our fibula. Mostly combine them, and then you guys see, and our malleolus over here. So we have a little tibia, and our fibula. I combine them, and then we have our foot over here, which we will not go through all of these bones in this tutorial. It'll probably take many hours. So next, after we figure out our skeleton, we move on to the muscles, origin and insertions, and let me hide this basic skeleton over here. So if you kind of revert back to where we were, this sketch will kind of help you figuring out, okay, we have our iliotibial band, we have our vastus lateralis, we have our bicep femoris, so you can kind of see this band, the iliotibial band, and if you look closely, this line over here kind of separating the band and the vastus lateralis over here, and then it'll merge with the gastric, the tensor fasciae latae and let's move this. Let me just draw this for you guys. And our gluteus maximus and our gluteus medius. I forgot that. So these muscles that we went through, where look at this, like you can hardly see, like probably like if it's a bodybuilder or if it's more flexed. In this case, there is no like motion. So these muscles are relaxed, so they're not in action. So basically the biceps femoris and the semitendinosus and the semimembranosus, they kind of like formed into just one shape. So for you to kind of understand the shape, you need to know each of them, the forms, the origins and insertions, and you can kind of create your own shape. Like looking at this, you will know where is the tendinosus, the membranosus, and the femoris, the bicep femoris. So it just created a single shape over here, which makes it very easy to clean this up. Create a new layer. And then on this side, it's the same thing. Basically, there's a lot of fat going on over here also. So look at the silhouette. Let me just fly to look at the silhouette. We have our two muscles. Let me start with so here's our gastric, our gastric nemeus, touching to this tendon, this hard tendon, very big one, our Achilles tendon, and then underneath that we have our soleus muscle, and then next to that we have our pulmonaris longus. Remember that muscle I told you guys to remember. Pulmonaris longus. Same over here on the side, just change the colors. We have our gastric nemeus touching to this tendon, to the heel of the foot. Gastric nemeus, and then our soleus, pulmonaris longus. So we also have a pulmonaris brevis and stuff. So just remember those two muscles next to it. So those are the muscles you need to remember there. And now just switch on to here. Remember we went through our sartorius. You can kind of see this line over here, like dividing the vastus medialis and the rectus femoris. So you see that. So this has to be our ascus, essentially the anterior superior iliac spine. And then we have our adductor muscles, these muscles over here, basically adducting the foot. There's a few of them. And then we have our teardrop muscle, the vastus medialis, and let's see, we have our patella and our patella ligament and tibialis. almost say tibialis anterior. Tibialis anterior is on this side. Let's just go through it. There's a tibialis anterior. It's more interiorly, and also over here you can kind of see it. Like it's more lateral, so you can. It kind of adds to that silhouette you have on the side of the leg. And then let's fly through this. We have a few minutes left now, 10 minutes left. And then we have our let me change this color to blue. Or rectus femoris attaching at the patella. And then more lateral, we have our vastus lateralis. And then next, last two muscles we have. So look at this line over here. You can kind of see the separation. So basically, it's a gastrocnemius, and like underneath, you will kind of see our soleus muscle. And then here's our medial malleolus, then our tibia and our fibula. So those are muscles you need to have in mind when you start sculpting. So any figure you find, any reference you find, you just need to go through this technique. It doesn't have to be like a clean sketch or anything. It's like when you're doing dissections, it's like looking at forms. And let me just stuff on this. It's like looking at forms. Like if you have like good lighting, like in this case we have like good lighting, so we can kind of see the shadows and everything, so forth. So it's important to find like images with very good lighting. If you don't have good lighting, you probably like add contrast. So go to adjustment layers, and then add like a, let's see, adjustment layer. You probably increase your contrast over here. As you can see, it adds that more details to it. But then basically just find up images with very good lighting. It doesn't have to be like super high res. It's just for us to see those forms and those striations. They're kind of important also. Like for example, over here we know where these muscles are going to be attaching over here. So once you know that, so just a quick recap. When you find your reference, figure out your skeletons, your bones, and after that, second step, now find your origin insertions. Once you have the skeleton underneath and your origin insertions, your muscles actually, and then lastly, the last step we hate, it's practice. So just open up any software, any sculpting medium, or pen or paper, anything, or clay, whatever works for you, and start practicing. Start drawing and start sculpting, and yeah, we'll take it from there. So we're gonna open up ZBrush now, and then we're gonna start sculpting. And then I'll probably like speed the video a tad. Like I doubt it's gonna be like normal speed or anything, because it's gonna take long. But then I'll probably, I don't know if I'm gonna do a voiceover, but then I'll probably like play music for you guys, and then just look at the entire process. But then it's basically the same process that we kind of went through to our previous tutorial, on our previous tutorials. So so don't go anywhere. Let's open up a ZBrush, actually ZBrushCore Mini, and let's start sculpting. And and by the way, don't forget to send your submissions to Adrian at asanatomy.com. So we're gonna pick our top 5. Just give us time. We're gonna pick our top 5. Just send us screenshots. You don't need to send your project files or anything. Just send us proper screenshots that we can kind of see your understanding. And if you have time, just show us your old process. Like if you have time, just to show us what you understand about what you draw. Probably like do like these sketches over here. So people who have these will be more likely to win. Actually, more likely to win. So if you wanna increase your chances of winning our anatomy figure, so it's basically the female anatomy figure from SAanatomy.com. So just add your screenshots and your reference. Don't forget to add your reference so we can see where you got your inspiration. So don't try to copy anything. Just firstly study and then try to apply that to your models. So without any further ado, thank you guys for your time. It's Adrian here from SAanatomy.com. Don't go anywhere. Let's jump into ZBrush and let's put this to practice. Basically, doing number 3. Peace out.